And we are live. This is Canada Hoops Daily presents the Wrap It Up podcast, the live and interactive Toronto Raptors post-game show. My name is Sean Alexander, here for you again, Raptors fans, to discuss. I always like to say in times like this, it's a safe space, Raptors fans. Your Raptors fall to the Milwaukee Bucks, a Giannis-less Milwaukee Bucks. Did I say that right? A Giannis-less Milwaukee Bucks team. Raptors fall 128-112. But still so much to talk about. An interesting night for the Raps. I feel like you get lessons. This is how you get tougher. You take these beatings, you figure out, you learn, and you move forward. And I feel like this is a good lesson for the Raps because, let's be honest, what happened to them in the last game in which they were able to come back from 23 points down, you know, you kind of play, as I said on the pod, right? You kind of play with your food a little. You're down 23, but you come back because you're playing a bad team. And now you come out again and you get down early. And sometimes you need the hard lesson of you need to start on time. The Raptors definitely need to start on time because that, my friends, was not a great performance at all. But we're here to break it all down as we always are after each and every Toronto Raptors game. Again, my name is Sheldon Alexander, and this is the Canada Hoops Daily presents Wrap It Up podcast, the live and interactive Raptors show. We will take your comments and questions on this pod. I will be here to give you my thoughts on what happened to the Raps. Are there any positives to take? What we saw from the Bucks, as this is proving to be, you know, it's always an interesting matchup with the Bucks. There's always going to be history there, but we'll break all that down. I'll take your comments and questions. And I want to give a huge shout to the people wherever you're watching this live podcast, where you can get it live and be a part of the show. A few places. One is Canada Hoops Daily, the YouTube page. Just go there, search Canada Hoops Daily. You'll see the red logo, see the hoops, you know, ball going through the basket. Click on that, subscribe. That's how you can follow the pod live each and every Raptors game. Same thing goes for @CanHoopsDaily on Twitter. That's where you can get this podcast live and interact with me and the people each and every Toronto Raptors game. And of course, if you ever miss us live, the podcast is available on Apple and Spotify, and of course, by subscribing to Canada Hoops Daily on YouTube. Again, Canada Hoops Daily. That's where you find us. We're here, and we're here right now to discuss the 128-112 loss by the Toronto Raptors in this one here. And first off, the first thing I got to say, if you're the Raps, after what happened in the last game, you know, there was so much talk, and even in the post game, we talked about it here too. You know, you saw what Darko said about they're down big at the half. And the whole conversation was about, I don't expect you to come back and win, but I want you to play with heart and joy. Or compete and joy. I think that was a quote. I'm paraphrasing, but you get the point. And so now in the same position, you come back in this game. Yeah, you make a little push at the end, but longtime Raptors fans know when you see that fake comeback, you know what to make of that, right? The issue is starting on time. And that comes down to your big-time players. And in this game, if you're the Toronto Raptors, you look at the stat line, you see Scotty Barnes with 29 points, 9 rebounds, 7 assists. Pascal Siakam had 11 in this game. He didn't play in the fourth quarter, I don't think at all. But the point here, and if we talk about Scotty, you look at the numbers and you look and you're going to say, hey, Scotty played a great game. But what if I told you most of that damage came later on in the game once the game was already decided? Like, you need your star players to start off the game on the right foot. The rest of the team is going to follow, especially at home, right? But the reason you have the people's names at the top of the marquee is because those are the leaders for everyone else to follow. And the Raptors did not get that from their leaders. The Bucks even without Giannis in this game, because oh yeah, Giannis didn't play and the Raptors got blown out by the Bucks. Not good. But you need your leaders to step up. Dame Lillard, he did that from jump. Let's go through the game here, and then we'll go through the game quickly, and then we'll take some comments and questions. But as mentioned, for the Bucks, Raptors and Bucks, obviously they played 2 weeks ago, and the Raptors blew out Milwaukee. It was announced earlier this afternoon, no Giannis. Also, still no OG, as he's suffering with a cut finger from doing household chores. Man, I couldn't be the rich millionaire owner or billionaire owner, pardon me, that has to sign off on checks for max contract dudes. And you're telling me you can't play because you cut your finger doing household chores? That's a good one right there. That's a good one. That's a real good one. I hope OG's back soon, but this is a game that you need OG in, especially, I mean, if Giannis was playing, but obviously there's no Giannis. But again, on Friday, your first in-season tournament game against the Boston Celtics. But again, no OG, no Gary Trent Jr., who's still out with plantar fasciitis. And it's so interesting to me, like 2 guys in contract years. And I mean, I know it's early in the season, but there's buckets to be buckets to be gotten, and money to be made. And yeah. So no OG, no Gary Trent. Dame Lillard in the lineup. You got Dame, Lopez, Middleton, Beasley, and Jackson Jr. Dennis Schroeder, who's playing through something, which might explain his slow starts, his, sub. He hasn't played to the level that he did at the very, very start of the season, and he almost missed this game. He was questionable for most of the day, and then was added to the lineup. So he's dealing with something. He's gutting it out. Dennis Schroeder did play with Jakob Poeltl, Scotty Barnes, Pascal Siakam, and getting the start, Grady Dick. I don't know if people saw this video that was surfacing on online, but Grady in the starting lineup, and shouts to my guy Strizzy, Mark Strong, doing the in-arena introductions. And he was introduced as, hold on, let me make sure I get this right, because this is not a quote that you can get wrong here, right? But, the player introductions, and Mark Strong does a very good job in coming up with something cool to say about each player as they check into the game. And for Grady Dick, Mark Strong said, quote, "Wearing number 1, Mr. Big Dick Energy." Yeah, that was the introduction to Grady in the starting lineup, making his first start of his NBA career. Hopefully many more on the way. If you're the Raptors staff, you hope that there's more on the way. Dennis Schroeder, early on. The Raptors, the weirdest part of this game, Raptors did actually start the game well. They were 8-2 run for the Raps. Timeout early for the Bucks. And the funny part was, I said at the start of the pod, hey, Raptors got to start on time. And they did. I take that back. They got out to an 8-2 run. But out of that timeout, immediately, it was just all Milwaukee. They went on a quick 8-0 run, and it was Dame doing it all. Dame was getting to the line, which is something we talked about. This is a thing, right? When we talk about stars and points, and you look up and you say, hey, Scotty Barnes had 29 points. Dame Lillard had 37 points in this game, right? And the one thing, and I'll use Kyle Lowry as the example, Kawhi, we might have saw this with Kawhi as well, but there's a difference between your stats and the stats that you put up and how those points and stats affect the ball game. What I mean by that is, all right, you look at Scotty's numbers, cool. That damage was done in the second half when it was a 30-point, 20-point game already. Early in this game, right? I'm using Dame, but Raptors fans will remember this with Kawhi. They'll remember this with Kyle Lowry. Kyle was really good at this. It was how do you get your points, when you get your points, how you use it to stop a run by the other team. And out of the timeout, Adrian Griffin calls. It's Dame Lillard just taking over this game, but what did he do most importantly? He got to the free throw line. You're slowing the game down. You're quieting the crowd. You're putting points up on the board. You're stopping the run and the momentum of your opponent. That to me was the key to this game early on because, again, as mentioned, they went on an 11-0 run right out of that timeout. Raptors called another timeout. Dame came back out, knocks down another three. It turned into a 17-0 run in which the Raptors did not score for over 3.5 minutes. 17-0 run. And it was Dame getting to the line, Dame hitting threes, and Dame finding Beasley in the corner. And Beasley, got to give him a lot of credit in this game because obviously without Giannis, that's a lot of points to make up. And you're going to think everyone's going to have to chip in a little more. I don't know if anyone expected that you're going to get 30 from Malik Beasley, but he was 8 for 11 from three-point land. And, the Raptors defense, you're running around, but at a certain point, like, do you leave that shooter open in the corner? I don't know. It was a tough game for the Raps. It did not look good at points. This was a very, very ugly game. And I will say that the score makes it look even better than it actually was. I know that's weird to say when it's 128, 112, but these are the facts, kids. These are the facts. Again, after another layup by Dame, Darko calls a timeout. Dame had 10 points early on. He had only 15 points when the Raptors played them 2 weeks ago. 15 points total in that game. He had 10 points early in this one. 21-4 run over the last 5 minutes of the first quarter. Raptors were 2 for their last 10 shots at one point. It was an insane game. Again, this game started with the Raptors leading 8-2. The Bucks then went on a 34-12 run. The rest of the first quarter, the Bucks were shooting 60%. They were up 16 after one, 36-20. Dame had 14, Beasley had 8. And right from there, things weren't looking good. And I got to say, one thing that was a weird sign for me, when Giannis's brother checked in the game and Giannis's brother was getting points, I think he made one basket in this game, but that's enough for me where I was just like, this game is not looking good. Just wasn't. So the Raptors in the second quarter, there were different points in this game where the Raptors were making pushes, where it was kind of like you're down 20, they could get it to 15, 14, but they couldn't get it quite into single digits. They couldn't get over the hump. Every time they got a little close, Dame would either knock down a three or Beasley would knock down a three. It was just crazy. They couldn't get it out of that like 12-16 mark at its best. But before that happened, Beasley was just cooking. Beasley hit a three right at the half. The Bucks put up 70 points in the first half, which is just insane on its own, but goes to show what we're talking about in terms of the Raptors defense. You can't come out with that defensive effort against the Bucks team. You got to look, and of course, you're missing OG, you're missing Gary Trent Jr. Those are two important pieces to your team. But at the same time, they're missing Giannis, right? Like, that's a MVP dude right there that they're missing out of their lineup. And if you're the Raps, you're down 70-47 at the half. It just wasn't a good look. Dame had 24 and 8 assists at the half. Beasley had 16. He was 4 of 6 from 3. But here's the thing. Dame scored or assisted on 46 of Milwaukee's 70 first half points. But he only took 9 shots. That's a point guard that was controlling the game, just the pace of the game, the flow of the game. Like, he was pulling all the strings. The Bucks were outscoring the Raptors 30-12 from three-point land. They were getting points off turnovers. It was just not a good look for the Raptors. And the second half didn't start well at all either. One interesting note was Precious was moved into the starting lineup to start the second half for Yak. And I think that might be because the way the Raptors were guarding Dame Lillard on the pick and roll, Dame was able to turn the corner and get downhill over and over and over again. And it's tough because, on the one hand, you're thinking, okay, the Raptors got to have a counter. You got to figure something out. And hey, here's the adjustment. We're going to put Precious out there instead of Yak, but they tried Boucher, and it's Dame Lillard. right? Dame is Dame for a reason. He gets downhill when he decides he's going to get downhill. That's just a tough assignment for anyone on the Raps. But it's also not only on the big guy on the switch, right? It's not only on the big guy. That's a team effort. And especially when it's just Dame out there without Giannis. And I mean, I know Middleton's a really good player. I get Beasley who's knocking down threes, but at some point, don't you just double? You got to double Dame and like make those other guys. If Beasley's going to hit 30, maybe he's got to hit 50. Like, I'm just saying it was a tough watch for the Raps because Dame was just driving and getting layups. And when he wasn't getting layups, he was shooting deep dagger threes. He hit a logo three. Then, like a couple minutes later, he came over half court, tried to pull another one from deep, but missed that one. It just was ugly for the Raps. Raps were down 30 at one point. It was just super ugly in this one. They couldn't hit anything. There was one possession where the Raptors, it was McDaniels missing a three, a wide open three. Raps get the offensive rebound out to Malachi Flynn. He misses a wide open three. Raps get the rebound back out to Malachi Flynn. He shoots another wide open three, misses that one. And it's just, it's tough to sound like a broken record over and over again. But the Raptors' strength is when they get in the paint and they get points in the paint. They get paint touches. Yes, you got to be able to knock down wide open threes, but you got to hope that your twos, that you're getting paint touches first. And maybe, just maybe, you don't always have to shoot the wide open three because maybe you're wide open for a reason. It was just a tough one for the Raptors tonight. And sometimes you just have nights like this, right? The worry would be that you're down big to Boston. You're unable to come back because Boston's a really, really good team. You're down big to Washington. Washington is not a good team. So you were able to come back and win that one. The Bucks, you're down big to the Bucks and you're not able to come back because even without Giannis, Dame just had it rolling on a level that made it tough. And the fourth quarter comes around. I mean, after the Raptors went on a run to cut it to 20 late in the third quarter, they got it to, what was it, a 13-2 run, I think, to end the third. It was 100-79 at the end of three quarters. They started off the fourth quarter well. Malachi hit a floater, cut it to 15. Scotty Barnes was leading the way. He was doing a Scotty Barnes thing where he's just going straight downhill, getting either making the basket, or if he misses, he was getting his own rebound and putting it back up. Raps were on like a 36-17 run. They tried to get back into this one. They cut it to 14, but they couldn't get over the hump. And I want to emphasize something here, right? Like, I'm not being hard on Scotty Barnes. The only thing that I'm saying here is that same aggression that you see in the third and fourth quarter, that's what you need to start the game if you're Scotty Barnes. That's the energy you need to come out with. Like, when you watch what Dame Lillard did, Dame saw that, okay, Giannis is in here. That means I got to go. And that's what Dame did right from the tip. And if you're Scotty Barnes, you can't wait until it's the second half, the team's down big, for you to then turn it on and then start going downhill and getting buckets and getting in the paint, getting paint touches, getting your points. That's just a tough one. It's a tough way for you to win games. It's very tough. And the Raptors, it was tough sledding for them in this one. The other thing was, at one point, I want to say the Milwaukee Bucks were plus 30. They're beating the Raptors in terms of what they shot from three, like points from the three-point land. The Bucks shot 20 for 38 in this game from three. That's 52%. When a team is shooting that high of a clip from three-point land, it's your defense. Your defense is just not there. And, the Raptors, when you dig these holes for yourself, you're just making it harder and harder and harder for you to come back. And, you have to play great defense, but then you also have to knock down shots. Raptors shot 8 of 32 from three. That's 25% in this game. They shot 38% overall from the floor. It's going to be tough to win when you do that. Meanwhile, the Bucks shot 52% from the floor in general and 52% from three. It's tough to lose when you shoot that well. So, I mean, the Raps, it's a tough one, and it's not a good finish there for the Raps. And I mean, those numbers are even, I mean, it's a tick down. It's 51%, 51.8 from the floor, and 51% from 3-point land. But you get the point, right? The Bucks came to play, the Raps did not. So when you look forward and you think about, is there any positives that you can take from this game? I mean, I think you need OG back. The thing I worry about, though, is if OG and Gary Trent Jr. come back, is that when Dennis Schroeder takes the seat because he's clearly banged up, right? After a very strong start to the season for him, we've now seen back-to-back games where Dennis Schroeder has not played at the same level that he had played to start the year. His last two games, you got to remember, versus Washington, he had only 4 points and 6 assists in that game. You know, didn't shoot well at all from the floor if you're Dennis Schroeder. You need a lot more from him if that's the key. If he's your starting point guard, he's your guy. You know you need more from him. And against the Bucks, he only had 9 points. So again, his season average this season average, right? 15 points per game. He has 15 points total in his last two. Sorry, 13 points total. Quick maths. The point is he's struggling. I think that if you're the Raps, you just got to scrap this one. You got to regroup. You got to hope that someone else comes back in, whether you're bringing back OG, who knows how he's doing. The tough part is the video that, and you're only seeing clips of what people put out. So who knows? Is it better? Is it worse than what we saw? But what you saw at practice was that he was using his offhand to shoot a lot. So you wonder how long is it going to be until he can grip the ball, shoot a ball, do all those things because of the cut on his finger. The other part is Gary Trent Jr., you also need him to come back, but you also need him. I mean, when he was in the lineup, you're still trying to figure out just what exactly his role was at the same time. So it's tough sledding here for the Raps, but the key is you got to get off to better starts. That's just the key for the Raps. You can't keep getting off to such bad starts. And I just think that you dig these holes early, and you've seen this trend now way too often, and you're not going to be playing the Washington Wizards every night. So you can't come back with the magical comeback that you had already. The fight, cool. You put up some fight. You made it somewhat interesting, but the wise words of Josh Donaldson, this isn't the try hard league, right? Interesting question, though, and posed to Darko as to the second half strategy, starting Precious over Jakob. I'm going to read this from Josh Lewenberg here on Twitter at JLew1050. He says, restarting Achua over Pirtle in the second half. Darko said, that's a normal thing. Quote, we're going to try different things. He liked the way Precious was switching on D in the first half and wanted to give it an early look in the third, which is exactly what we talked about on the pod, right? That's exactly what I was saying. Like, Yak was getting burned, and I mean, that's unfair. Putting Yak on an island with Dame Lillard, like Dame on an island with any big guy is not fair, but for Yak, that's a tough one for sure. Darko on the slow starts, quote, trust me, we're thinking about it a lot and trying to figure it out. The guys starting the game, they've got to bring it more. I just thought we didn't have pop for whatever reason. I'm trying to detect it myself. What the reason was for the slow start. Yeah, it's factually correct. It's on your starters to figure out what they need to do to get off to a good start in the game. But I'm not even going to say like just your starters. You're going to pinpoint it to your main guys. Use the example of what you saw from the Bucks. Dame looks around and he says, oh, Giannis isn't here. Okay, it's got to be me then to lead this. It's got to be me to be the engine. And the Raptors got to have the same response. That's either got to be from Scotty Barnes or Pascal Siakam. And it was neither of them. And by the time one of them got it going, it was too late. It just wasn't enough. It wasn't enough. Poor Yak. Yak here giving quotes on Dame Lillard, saying he's an incredible player, but me personally, I was slow to react to what he was trying to do out there. He was punishing us, getting by people, getting to the rim, getting layups, and I've got to do a better job reacting to that and being able to read that. I mean, you and a lot of other bigs in the league, Yak. Don't be so hard on yourself, my dude. That's got to be a team effort. And again, the same thing that I'm mentioning, right? Once you know Giannis isn't there, you got to gear up and expect whatever from Dame, right? Like you got to be loaded up to try to slow down, stop Dame Lillard, at least like force the ball out of his hands. And if Malik Beasley, if you're forcing Dame to give up the ball and Malik Beasley's hitting 8 threes, cool. You tip your cap to them. Good game. And that's it. But I still think Dame was getting too many layups and he can't be getting all the way to the cup. At some point, there's got to be a block. There's got to be some resistance. Didn't see that much at all. But again, no magical comeback for the Raptors tonight as they fall 128-112. They lose to the Milwaukee Bucks after blowing out the Milwaukee Bucks 2 weeks ago. I guess they return the favor here a little bit as the Milwaukee Bucks win without Giannis Antetokounmpo. They win 128-112. Scotty Barnes putting up a pretty solid effort on the stat sheet here. 29 points, 9 rebounds, 7 assists. Pascal Siakam, a slow night, 11 points, 7 rebounds, 5 assists. But again, the stats in this game, especially from the Raptors side, I mean, it was garbage time early, right? Like the Blazers. Wow, call them the Blazers because of Dame. Dame looked like Blazers Dame tonight, but the Bucks were just cooking at such a high level early that the Raptors were down 20 plus early in this game. So not a good night for the Raptors. From the Blazers side, Dame leading the way with 37 points, Malik Beasley with 30 points, and again, 8 3-pointers from him. When you're getting that level of production from Malik Beasley, it's a tough one, tough sledding for the Raptors. But say it all the time, the beautiful part of the NBA is you get to do it all over again. And the Raptors get to play the Boston Celtics on Friday, their first game in the in-season tournament. We will be back here live again to wrap it all up here on the podcast. So make sure that you are following us here. You subscribe so you get the alert. As soon as we go up live, you'll know, and you can be here, join the show, send in your comments and questions as well. Don't forget where you can find the pod, where you can be to get in on the action here. You can follow me at Shell Alexander or on Instagram at Sheldon Alexander. The podcast, so if you want to get on the live feed for the podcast, 2 ways to do that: on Twitter at Can Hoops Daily and on YouTube at Canada Hoops Daily. That's where you subscribe. That's where you get this podcast live. You get in your comments and questions and enjoy the show with the rest of the fan base. And I'll say this too, in nights like this, it's okay. We're here for a support system. We're here to help each other get through this. And a reminder that there are more games on the way, right? Raptors fall 128-112. My name is Sheldon Alexander. And as I always say, I used to pray for times like this to rhyme like this. This is Canada Hoops Daily presents the Wrap It Up podcast. As always, unpolished and unapologetic. Until next time, see ya.